Good?
Yes.
You want a little bit more?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you. My father moved out of the house when I was 11. He remarried when I was 12, and he moved out of the state when I was 13. My mother took on the role of my primary parent, and his role as a parent was voluntarily downgraded to more of a outside consulting gig. And because he was never there, and I felt a bit abandoned, even though my father has told me that he loves me, I think there's a part of my brain that has always yearned to hear, "I won't leave you." So August 2023, my Uncle Mike, my father's youngest brother, died suddenly out of the blue. It shook me up because it was a stark reminder that life can irrevocably change in an instant. But it also made me ask myself the question, what if my 79-year-old father, with whom I have a complex relationship, were to die suddenly? How would I feel? And because of my unresolved issues, the answer came pretty quick, that I would be angry, resentful, and I would doom myself to having one-sided arguments with him in my head for the rest of my life. And I did not want that. So one day, based upon everything I have learned from multiple viewings of all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso, I called my father and I told him that I had forgiven him for everything he had ever done to upset me, and that I wanted to reconnect with him while we still had a chance. And the suggestion I gave for how to do that was something that Uncle Mike and his daughter used to do based on that, where he and I would have a phone call every week. At the same time, same day, and it would just be an hour, and we would just get to know each other. And my father loved this idea. He thought it was an excellent idea. And I was so excited that he loved it. And I said, when do you want to do it? And he said, I need to check my schedule. I will get right back to you. And I said, okay, great. And then just like Charlie Brown, thinking that this time Lucy's not going to pull the football away from him, he did not get back to me for weeks. And this upset me. It really, really upset me. And it made me question whether or not I had truly forgiven him, or these were just words I had said to a therapist to make her proud of me. But either way, I was not going to give this up. So I called my father and I was incredibly direct. I said, I need a relationship with you, and all I am asking of you is 1 hour a week. And if that is too much, then I'm going to have to walk away. He heard me, and he chose Wednesdays at 2 p.m. And the first few calls were fine, good, tried to find a groove. But the thing that really stood out to me was that neither of us really had a lot of memories of the other during my childhood, and there were huge swaths of our adulthood that we didn't know either. So, make sure I primed the pump each week for the calls. I started bringing in big discussion questions that we could do. And because of that, call 17 changed everything. That day, we were talking about times that we had been in peril. And he told me about a horrific car accident he was in, where the only reason he got out of it safely was because he was thrown from the vehicle. And I told him about a dangerous drug transaction I had on the streets of Vienna, Austria, and the only reason I got out of it safely because one of the guys thought I looked like Chuck Norris. And as he and I were laughing, my father goes, I'm really enjoying these talks. And maybe with a bit too much enthusiasm, I said, why? Why are you enjoying these talks? And he thought about it, and he gave me a nice answer, but what really stood out in the answer was that he was really enjoying getting to know me and how similar we are in the way we think. And then he started to talk about all the time he had missed with me. And he lamented that a bit. And he ended that section of what he was talking about by saying, I wish we had this level of openness earlier. Now, there are moments in our lives where time stands still, and this was one of mine, because I know me, and I know me very well, that even a couple of years ago, had I heard him say that to me, my inside response would have been, well, I wasn't fucking keeping it from you. However, this was when I knew that I had truly forgiven him, because all I felt was empathy, because I know exactly what it's like to be a grown-up person who looks back on the timeline of their life, knowing what you know now, wishing you could change or amend certain things you did. So with very measured language, I said to him, well, we're here now, and I don't plan on going anywhere. And my father responded without missing a beat, I'm not going anywhere either. And true to his word, for the last 108 weeks, we have not missed a Wednesday. And because we talk for an hour each time, we have genuinely gotten to know each other in a way that I never even expected that we could. And on the 2-year anniversary of these calls, which was a few weeks ago, we did what all TV shows did at the 100th episode. We did a big retrospective clip show where we went through a bunch of the stuff that we had talked about in the earlier calls. But then at one point I said to him, the thing I love about this is that it is a father and son reconnecting. And my father said, I don't think that's accurate. I said, what do you mean? And I will never forget what he said because I could not agree with him more. That this was not a father and son reconnecting. This was a father and son finally connecting. Thank you.